Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Becoming a Queen conversation. I am your host, Dr. Lavanya Chanel, and we have with us today a special person, and we're all gonna pronounce her name, okay? Because we're gonna do it right. Because you have to roll the R. I've been practicing. So let's say it together. Let's say it together. 5, 6, 7, 8. Urmi.
Urmi.
Urmi. Did I say it right?
Yes.
Fantastic. So, Urmi, can you please introduce yourself and tell the people a little bit about you, where you're from? You give a little bit about your background, and then we'll get
Mhm.
into the conversation.
Yes. So my name is Urmi. I am calling from Montreal, Canada. I'm not originally from Montreal, although I do have the Canadian citizenship and I've been living in Canada for a while, which is why I have the Canadian citizenship. I am originally from Italy. I was born and raised in Italy, and my parents are from Bangladesh. And I like to describe myself as a woman who wears many hats. I have what I call my 9 to 5, where I dedicate all of my time to my day to day job, which is finance, and I very much love and enjoy working in finance. And then I have myself during my 5 to 9. This is where I get to write, express myself, be creative. I am a self published author, speaker, YouTuber, mentor, fellow podcaster, and I'm an advocate of women's empowerment. I'm currently part of an organization called Women in Leadership, and I'm the co-chair of the Montreal chapter. We are 4 women running the chapter. We organize in-person events, online events, and so forth. And I'm a big advocate of mentorship. I do indeed mentor a lot of women, and I am currently involved with 2 cohorts, one with Just for Success, and the other one is Empower M.
Listen, my gosh, how do you have time for yourself? Listen, all the things that you're doing. What made you get into all those different? Because you just named a lot of different things, but a lot of times we sign up for things because we're passionate about it. Tell us what made you sign up and like get involved in all these different things.
I think it was just simple curiosity and just
Mhm.
following my intuition. And I think I had a calling. I think when it came to mentorship, I think deep
Mhm.
inside, I always wanted to be a guide for other people, especially women. And I did not have a mentor growing up.
Mhm.
And I used to be a mentor back in university. I used to get paid for being a mentor. Like this was my first part-time paid job. And
Mhm.
then I graduated. Of course, I was no longer a mentor, but the word mentorship kept showing up in my life. And I thought this was the universe sending me a signal. Until I
Mhm.
listened to that signal, and I was like, I'm going to go and find something that truly brings value, that is purposeful. And that's when I was like, okay, I'm going to look into like more like women led organizations where I can have the chance
Mhm.
to mentor women. So
Mhm.
that was one of the thing. And yeah, and then of course there's women in leadership. I just believe a lot in leadership and how we can all be great leaders, and how we can be great leaders also in our personal life. It's not just professional life.
Mhm.
So yeah.
I love that. Okay, so I have two questions, and I don't want to forget either one. So the first one that you mentioned, as you were talking, is that you felt like this was your calling.
Hmm.
The things that the Becoming a Queen experience and like the mission is to help people find their calling, their identity,
Yeah.
like the things that they enjoy, and not just showing up in life, but actually being fulfilled. When you're being fulfilled, it's like you get a different level of energy to keep going. So when did you find your calling, or when did you know, or what was the feeling that you was like, I really feel like this is what I'm called to do?
I felt like there was an inner voice that was telling me like go for it.
Hmm.
And and I think I would also openly talk about this with my trusted friends. I was like, this is
Mhm.
what I want to do, but I don't know how to start. And
Mhm.
my issue is that I am so ambitious that I was like, how can I make sure that this is like expanded globally, that I can reach like more on a global level? And they
Mhm.
would tell me, you know what, you can just start locally. You can start from your local organizations and then build off of that. And so I trusted their advice. I trusted myself, and I was like, I'm just going to go ahead and see how I feel about it. And I was just having this conversation with someone before, where sometimes the clarity that you're searching for just comes from actions. You
Mhm.
just have to go for it, and then you will see if that's fit for you, if that's aligned with you. So that's how I was able to find my answer, and that's how I jumped on the opportunity.
I love it so much. I love it. Okay, so the second question that I had is you talked about showing up at work and home as a leader. And a lot of times people see being at work, be like, well, I have my work self and I have my home self, I have my friend self. And I'm always like, no, I'm the same if I'm in McDonald's, if I'm at church, if I am on the beach. Lavanya, you won't get all of this wherever you go, right? And so when we think about leadership and identity and calling and who you are, how you show up in the world, what is your view on that when people talk about I have to be different with my work people and my personal people? What is your thoughts on that?
So there was a podcast that I listened to, I
Mhm.
think a couple of years ago, and she was talking about how sometimes we perform to fit in.
Mm.
So when she said that, I think I was like, that is so true. I think we
Mhm.
are always performing to fit in.
Mhm.
At work, you're a person. With friends, you're another person. At
Mhm.
home, you're another person. You are a daughter. Like if you're a daughter, you're another person. And I realized that sometimes we're not being our truest self. And
Mhm.
that's when I realized that I have to be my most authentic self no matter what I am. Like you said, at
Mhm.
McDonald's, you're a certain way. At work, you're a certain way. But I think I really live by authenticity. And I
Mhm.
think for me, when it comes to authenticity, I also remind myself where I come from. I
Yeah.
remind myself about the cultures I carry, about the cultural identities that I carry, because yes, I'm born and raised in Italy, but there's also a Bengali side that I also highly respect and highly value in my life. And I
Mhm.
make sure that that is also shown in my day to day routine. So I'm not shrinking. I'm just being myself in any spaces and in anywhere that I am.
I love that. We're not shrinking. We're not shrinking. Queens don't shrink,
No.
right? I was like when I started the whole becoming a queen experience and like just the brand, I ask myself, will Queen Elizabeth do this? And if Queen Elizabeth wouldn't do this, I'm not going to do this. This is not what I'm. This is almost like my mindset had to shift between just being a normal person every day and then being a queen because the queen is like about the energy, not about the title. So when you saw originally the becoming a queen conversations, what was the first thing that like popped out to you when you heard becoming a queen?
That we're all queens to begin with. That's
Mm-hmm.
the thing that I think I like about that phrase, becoming a queen. We are all
Mm-hmm.
queens to begin with. It's just stepping into that power.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we don't realize it, that we are really complete and accomplished the way we are. We're often comparing ourselves to other people. People are comparing ourselves to other people. And that's where we feel like, okay, we're not enough. That's where
Yeah.
we feel like we're not queens. But we really are queens. And it's just stepping into that power and believing in yourself.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's pause because I like to make things practical, right? So you said stepping into your power. What does
Hmm.
that mean to you, right? Because we hear these words, but how do we make stepping into our power practical? How do you teach somebody to step into their power?
I think it goes back again to that, to what I said before, intuition and curiosity, and just
Mm,
taking small actions. And I do believe in the power of small action, like James Clear says in his book, Atomic Habits. I think it's so true. Like you are able to build that confidence and the success when you take into those small actions. And I think you have to start with one thing, first of all. Like when you think about being practical about things, people are thinking, okay, you want to see results overnight. No, 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 no. You have to start from somewhere and
mm,
see where that leads you. So I remember for myself, it started with a website. I wanted to create a blog. I had so many self doubts. I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. I'm not sure
mm,
if I'm going to be good at this. I was
mhm,
like, I don't even know how to start building a website. Like, forget it. I was like, do I hire someone or do I do it myself? And I think I spent days and nights just looking on YouTube on how to build a website. I built a website and then I was like, do I put myself out there or not? I was so afraid. And I was like, people will see who's this person. Like, people will see the face behind the website. They will know my story. But one of my friends told me that if you don't put yourself out there, no one
mhm,
can connect with you.
mhm,
So it started with the website, and then I got comfortable with that, and I saw the potential in it. Like I saw people reaching out to me, and then I started with the YouTube channel, and I saw all the collaborations that I got from it. Then I had a podcast and I still have a podcast. And from there, I built my personal brand and it was exponential, the power.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
that's how I became confident. It's because I believed in myself and I took that one step for myself.
I love that. I love that. It's just doing one thing. Like stepping in your power. Like when you hear power, when I hear power, sometimes I think something extreme. But it could be just the one thing. And the one thing that you did was you built your own website, right? Then you published the website. Then you started posting on the website. And then people started contacting you. Had you never created the website, then there would have been nobody contacting you. So it's just the one step at a time, right? And you begin to grow, you begin to learn. Now you know how to build a website.
Yeah.
You know how many people don't know how to build websites? I don't even know. I have one, but I don't know how to build one, and I'm not interested in learning how to either, right? So it's not even like we're saying that we have to do the same thing. Like you were inspired to learn how to build a website. I was inspired to learn how to do podcasts, right?
Mhm.
Like I was inspired to learn how to connect to strangers and have conversations with strangers that I don't even know, right? Because I feel like when you get it, you get it. And so
Yeah.
you can have conversations with anybody that gets it to then empower other people to get it,
Yeah.
right? And so I also think that there are stages. So when you're not the same person that you were when you started building the
Um,
website that you are today, right? And so when you think
exactly.
about seasons, where do you feel like you're at now in the season where you are? Because we're always growing, we never arrive, right? So where are you at now in your season?
Yeah, I think you're so right about it. I think when I started, it was more like I would say my season of starting, and then there was the season of
Mm-hmm.
growth, and then there was this season of transformation. And I feel like I reached that point where I transformed myself, and it became the woman that I am. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm also sure that there is always room for improvement and growth, but I do agree that there was a huge shift in my
Mm-hmm.
life and how I saw myself, and even people around me saw that shift as well. Because
Mm-hmm.
like I get reached out to do collaboration, to do speaking engagement, to write for articles, things that I didn't think of, never crossed my mind. And now
Mm-hmm.
suddenly I'm being called to do all of these things. But I remember that like I used to think about this sentence: be comfortable with uncomfortable.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's so true. Like if you don't step into if you stay always in your comfort zone, there won't be any growth.
Mm.
There won't be any growth, and you have to be a little bit uncomfortable to see that
Mm.
potential in you. And I could see like like a lot of my friends, they reached out to me. They were like, oh my gosh, you're so out there, there's so much
Mm.
about you. They're like, we like, if I think of you many years ago, you were like quite reserved, you never spoke about things, but now you're vocal. And that could be through a message, through
Mhm.
a post, through an article or blog, a YouTube video. Like I'm very vocal about these things, and I'm not
Mhm.
shy about it. I think that's what I learned, is that I can't be shy if I want to do all of these things and dreams that I have in my mind.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
yeah.
I love that. I have so many questions and thoughts. Okay, but I'm gonna get my mind together. So the first thing is early you talked about the book Atomic Habits, right?
And
Love
yeah.
that book. So again, when we think about practical, because when we're talking about becoming a queen and teaching people how to like really step into that energy of becoming a queen, there's things that you have to do. And one of those things I believe is reading.
Oh,
And reading and connecting to people that are not the people that you're normally around, right? So, Atomic Habits is a great book. Can you suggest any other books that you think helped you begin your transition of change?
so there was this other book that I very much enjoy. It's called The Ikigai.
Mm,
Do you know that book? Do you know that concept?
no.
It talks about how to live a fulfilled and happy life, and it's a Japanese concept. And it basically talks about your reason for being. And there
Mm,
is a whole diagram that which is an intersection of different things, different aspects that help you to find that reason of being. And what I felt it was so interesting about the book is that they're using these examples, like these testimonials from people that live in Japan and how they're able to be happy just by doing like simple mundane things. Like they
Mhm.
talk about these people living in this island and how growing their garden or growing their fruits and vegetables makes them so happy, or
Mhm.
sewing makes them happy. So for me, it was really like I don't have to look deeper. Like I don't have to like start a company to be happy. I can find it
Mhm.
in like little things, and that's what it was for me. And I think sometimes the little things do not need to have a monetary value attached to it. It's just
Mhm.
how you feel from inside and
Mhm.
how happy your heart is about giving
Mhm.
back. So
Mhm.
for me, it was really like, connecting with people, mentoring women, doing community engagement, community building was really something that was really bringing me fulfillment and value. And I
Mhm.
think that book really talks about that concept. It's a really great book. I think it's one of the most read self development books out
Yes.
there. Yeah.
Wow. I love it. I love it. I remember one of my coworkers before, they was like, I don't read that self-development stuff. And I was like, but shouldn't we be developing ourselves? And this is like before I really got into like transformation and any of that. It's just like, I feel like there's something we should be doing. Like, how do we change with just being around the same people?
Hmm.
And even listening to you talk, it also when you mentioned that people even around you saw the shift, right? And so our friends and our family that know us as who we
Yeah.
are when we begin to transition sometimes don't see that new person. And so they're like, you acting different. Yes, you're right. That saying, it's me, it's not you. I am changing. I'm not the same person. You cannot speak to me the same way. You cannot treat me the same way.
Yeah.
And if you don't learn, because a lot of things that we accept is because we didn't step into the power of being the queen. You understand? And so we accepted things, people talking to us crazy, saying different things. And it's like, no, I am a queen. You are a queen too. So as queens, we should be able to communicate better than we're communicating. And if you haven't really stepped into your queen energy yet, it's fine. But you can't talk to me because you have not figured it out yet. So
Yeah.
when you think about the people that you are around now, or even people that you're no longer around, how hard was it for you to make that shift, even to the people that you let close to you?
Let me tell you this because I do have a very good example of something that happened to me. Is some people really do not like it when you become better than
Mm,
themselves.
mhm,
I'm
mhm.
telling you, they just do not like it, and that's when you realize that's when you have to cut them out of your life.
Yeah,
And I think that becoming a queen comes with a lot of respect. Like
yeah.
people just respect you for the knowledge and expertise that you carry.
Mm,
And I had this one particular friend who I actually thought she was my friend.
mm,
But the moment, and I would share all of my achievements, the things I was able to get done, creating a website,
mhm,
accomplishing financial designations and things like that, or all these things that I was doing in my life. And I would share them with her because I want to share this with people that I care and trust.
mhm.
She just unfollowed me from every single place out of nowhere. I never got a response back from her. I don't know why she did that.
Wow.
And that's when I realized that, and I think that's my assumption, that it came from a place of jealousy. She just did not like
Mhm,
that.
mhm,
So I saw people walking away from my life. She was one of
mhm,
the examples, and that was okay. I think deep inside, I was hurt and felt bittersweet from this experience, but I
mhm,
think I realized what true friends are and the kind of people we need to surround ourselves with. Because when they say you you thrive in your tribe, that is so true. You need to surround yourself with
mhm,
people that
mhm,
are who you want to be eventually.
mhm.
That's how I see. Like if you want to be a better person, a better speaker, you have to surround yourself with speakers, for instance.
Yeah, yeah.
I do believe in that. So I learned to accept that sometimes people will just walk away, and that's
Mhm.
okay.
That's okay. That was a hard lesson for me to learn, because people would say things, and I would like, because a lot of times people will say things, and it's like all feedback is feedback, right? It's good feedback because it tells you something. It either tells you something of how someone perceives you, or you can learn and grow from the feedback that you're getting. Because a lot of times we don't have see how ourselves how other people see us. So somebody one time told me that I wasn't a good friend, and I was
Ah,
like, What? What did I do? What did I say? Like what happened? Like what did I do that like makes you say that? And then some of the things that they were describing, I was like, well, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to show up in your life like that. Like that's not something I even want to do. So
Right.
the way that they were describing what good friendship was to them was something I was not even interested in. Right. And so then it's almost like you're right. I'm not a good friend for you because the way that
Exactly.
you want me to show up as a friend, I don't have the desire or the capacity to do because I'm doing other things. Like I don't know, I don't talk on the phone. I'm not a talk. If I'm talking on the phone because we're talking about something, we're having a
Hmm.
productive conversation, we're getting to know something, we're building a business, or we're building
Yeah.
something together. Right? We're there's intention in the conversation. I'm not shooting a breeze about a reality show. I'm just not doing that. So if that's what you want to do, there's nothing wrong with that. You just won't do it with me, which is why I believe that you have friends for different things. Everyone shows up in your life for a different reason. I'm not the gossip friend. We're not doing that because we're empowering people. We lifting people up. We're like, the power of life and death and the words that come out of our mouths. So we're not speaking negative over nobody.
Yeah.
That's not what we're doing. So if you want that, you're probably not even gonna be my friend. Let's be clear with that. So, but I think that as we're transitioning into being better, it's
Yeah.
not always easy, right?
Yeah. And I think it's not always easy. And I think, like, going back to what you just said, becoming a queen, it means also protecting your energy and being there or doing things that are aligned with you. Like, if
Mhm,
this person said, oh, you're not a good friend to me, I mean, okay, maybe I'm not a good friend to you, but I'm a good friend to other people.
mhm.
So
Yeah.
and that's when you choose, like, you choose yourself in this case. Like, you
Yeah.
choose that
Mm,
I'm just gonna do whatever I feel like doing that is right for me. Like, you don't
mm,
want to have that negativity in your life.
mm-mm.
That's part of becoming a queen. Like, literally, like, I feel like it's really putting yourself first.
100%. Yeah.
So yeah.
So good. So good. So you also mentioned about building your brand. So tell us about your brand.
So I think I built a personal brand without realizing it.
Mhm,
It was very, I don't think I had a goal in purpose to actually create one. I think it just started just like that, by
mhm,
accident. By
mm,
accident. Because it was really with my blog initially, and I would talk about things. And
mhm,
then I was being invited to a lot of podcasts, and then I still published my book. And then I
mhm,
realized that I was like talking to many like events and webinars about the same thing, like I like what we are just talking about.
mhm,
And that's when I realized that when people were looking me up, there was always the same trend,
mm,
which was women's empowerment, women in leadership, working in finance, how to be bold and confident women in the corporate world, and things like that. And I realized, and then afterwards, I took a course about personal branding, and I realized that I actually have done all of those things. It's how people perceive you when you
mhm,
are in a room full of people. Like, what are
mhm,
people thinking of you when you're not presenting yourself? So there is
mhm,
already a reputation built in the air.
mhm,
And so that's when I realized that I realized that it was even more important for me to have a proper personal brand, especially
mhm,
because I work in the corporate job, and sometimes, there are layoffs, there's so many things that can happen. You you don't want to be the person who's working from for X, Y, and Z, because once you change company, that X, Y, and Z is no longer attached to your name, but your
mhm,
personal branding is portable.
mhm.
You can always carry it anywhere you go. And
Yeah.
so that's when I realized that it was so important for me to have that brand that was just attached to my own identity and my own
Mhm,
individual self. Because I want to remind myself that there's always going to be me no matter where I go.
mhm,
So, yeah.
mhm. I love that. I love that. So I want to talk about some of the challenges
Oh,
um, that come with being a queen. And one is faith. One of the things, the foundations of becoming a queen is um, faith, family, and future, right? Like
mhm.
being in something that you can't see, um, the family, how, again, talking about the people that you're around in your family, it doesn't
Right.
always have to be your blood family, just the people that you're allowing close into your space. And then our future is finance, our future is legacy. There's so much that's wrapped into future when we think about, becoming the whole woman. And so if we could sit in the area of faith for a second, because a lot of the things that you've done, like you had to step out not knowing what was going to happen on the other side of this step out. So for you, what does that look like when we think about faith?
I think it was really just believing in me.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Believing that I can do it. And
Mm-hmm.
for me, that how that looked like, it was really doing a lot of positive self affirmation.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them. It was, I just had to make sure that was ingrained in me,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
really. And so I would do vision boards. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
big manifester. I would have these like mantras in front of me so that I made sure that I was actually like going forward with
Mm-hmm.
that. And then the rest, like the action just came naturally. I
Yeah.
feel like when you believe in yourself, the rest is easy.
Can we sit with that for a moment? Because I think that's where it begins. It's not faith in anybody else. It's faith in yourself. Faith in the capacity to do things. I always say, if I can think it, it can happen. How is it gonna happen? That's up to God. I don't know. But if the idea came into my mind, He is gonna give me the people and the resources and all the
Mhm.
things that needs to happen for me to bring this idea to pass. And I always say, if I don't do the idea, He gonna give the idea to somebody else because He wanted to come into the world. So if
Yeah.
I sit on it because I'm afraid or I don't have faith in myself,
Yeah.
then somebody else is going to go do it. So when we think, one of the, again, becoming a queen, one of the things is really helping people to have confidence and believe in
Yeah.
themselves. Believe in the impossible. It's only impossible because no one has seen it happen yet. But once you do it, now it's possible,
Yeah.
right? And so, yeah, yeah, that is just so, we need to put that on a t-shirt, like believe in yourself.
Seriously.
Because if you don't, when doubt comes or when people come, I left my job September of last year, and I think people were more scared for me than I was scared of myself because I believe in myself. I
Yeah.
believe in the gifts that God has given me. I believe in the stuff that I've learned over time. I believe in the negative or not so good situations that I've had to gone through and come out of. Like I survived those things, so I can teach other people to do the same thing. But I can't do that with a 9 to 5. I just can't because I'm a whole full-time job myself. You understand? So yeah.
I mean, and here's the thing, if you don't believe in yourself, how can you
Hmm.
help other people to believe in themselves? You know,
Hmm.
you know what I mean? It's like,
Yes.
so there are times that I watch a lot of speeches and some are like
Hmm.
in a formal setting, and they
Hmm.
always start by saying, I'm not sure if I'm good at this. It's my first time doing this. I'm gonna go with it. And I'm listening to this and be like, okay, but if you're not believing in you, why should I even listen to you as an audience?
Hmm. Yeah, that's so good. Because you have to go up with confidence, like you said earlier. Be scared and do it anyway. So I'm going to get on
Yeah,
this stage scared, but I'm not going to act like I'm scared. I'm going to do it
exactly.
anyway with confidence, and I'm going to share my message, and I'm going to tell the world about the message that I have. And however it comes out, it's going to come out.
Literally. And some I think I listened to this workshop and they talked
Mm,
about fear, and they
mm,
said you have to reframe how you see fear, and you
mm.
should see it as an excitement.
Ooh,
So that
ooh.
helps.
I think that's good. I think that's so good to reframe how you reframe the things that happen,
Yeah.
even because a lot of things are distractions. And I think as women, we need to look at what shows up in our life that's distractions or that's connected to us going to the next level. So if you could think of some examples for yourself where distractions come in, because there are things that are happening every day. It could be a distraction that we either choose to take our attention to or we choose to focus on what we're doing. Do you want to give us some examples of what you think or the experiences that you have had in the area of distractions?
I think if we talk about distraction, we have a very good one, which is with social media, and that's easy to fall into that trap.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I I think I learned to be really disciplined with my time and how I use my
Mm-hmm.
time, especially
Mm-hmm.
because when I do have such a busy schedule and I have to
Mm-hmm.
like navigate that, but make sure that I'm accomplishing my things, you really have to put like time blocking. You need to block time out of the
Mm-hmm.
calendar. I do that. I do to-do list. My Google Calendar is my best friend, and that's how I'm able to accomplish the things. Maybe I can't do everything in one night, but I do one thing per day. And that's
Mm-hmm.
how I see the progression. And I think with social media, it's been really hard sometimes. You're so sucked into it. Instagram is just so good at sending you all the things that you like. It's really good, but it's coming with you have to be self-aware in that case. You need to know when to
Yes.
stop. You need to
Yes.
know when to put the phone away. And I know that I
Mm.
listened to this podcast and they were saying how if you want to achieve things, if you want to do things, you have to put your phone in a different room.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Love that. These are practical things that
Yeah.
any everyday person could do. Putting your phone in another room, not, time blocking. That is beautiful. I tell everybody all the time, like I use my hand calendar. People always tell me I need to get
Uh-huh.
I need to use my Google Calendar, and I don't only use it as reminders, but I'm visual, right? And so I like to see it, so I could see my day. And so someone asked me, "Are you free on Saturday at 10?" Because I'm visual. I might not know exactly what's at from 10 to 12, but I know that there's something there, so I'm free from 2 to 4, right? And so you just have to figure out what works for you and not works for somebody else. Earlier, you talked about being authentic. Be authentic to your learning style.
Yeah.
Be authentic to how you show up in the world. Don't when you try to mimic what someone else does or do what someone else does because it works for them and they're so adamant and believe in it. Like I believe in my handheld calendar that other people's like, come into the century, honey. And I'm like, no, we
Yeah.
won't, because it works for me. But if I force myself to like be what other, like, they still make calendars for a reason, because they
Exactly.
and so it's really like these practical things, time blocking. And if it's not in that time frame, I even block time to do nothing. So when someone
Yeah.
says, "Are you free from 7 to 8?" No,
No.
I'm spending time with myself because I time blocked it. Right? I'm not doing that. I'm not doing what you want me to do. No, because I know in order to keep my peace, in order to be able to be my best self, there's specific things that I have to do. My bedtime is 10 o'clock. People think I'm crazy. I start going to the room at 9. My dad used to be like, "Girl, it's early." It's my bedtime.
Yeah.
Sleep. I need 8 hours of sleep every night because I feel different when I get a good night's sleep. So all these things are small practical things that is the becoming a queen energy, right? Like, it's just fantastic. I love where I am right now, the space that I'm
It's
in, the
good.
people I'm around, the conversations that I'm having. Um, if you would think about for you, what's next, what would that be?
So many things.
Just share a few.
um, well, definitely the work that I do with women in leadership, I do want to
Mhm,
continue it. I
mhm,
think what I enjoy the most is really the in-person connections that I get when we get to organize events and
mhm,
when we get to gather all these women from Montreal for a panel session or a speaking session. I think there's so much value in it, and I want to continue doing that. Definitely, the mentorship work that I do is great. I think I find so much value with connecting with other people. And I always say mentorship is a two-way street. It's not
mhm.
just you being a mentor to someone, that person is also mentoring you with their knowledge,
Right.
with their lived experiences, which I think are always very important and valuable.
Mhm.
And definitely I want to continue doing with my work with community engagement and community building. I do have some things lined up where I will be associating working more with universities and organizing in-person events, networking events. I think there's so much value when you are talking to younger generations about the future, the path, and where they can go, especially when it comes to building a career. And that's something that I like. I'm a proud corporate woman, so
Mhm.
it's something that I do like to share with other people as well.
I love that. I love that. If there is one message that you would want to leave with people that are listening as they are becoming a queen, because I say we're becoming a queen, we're always in the phase of becoming. It's not just we arrive, right? So like you even we talked earlier about friendship, becoming a good friend, becoming an entrepreneur, becoming the mother that you want to be. Like there's so many different tracks in that becoming a queen, like overarching theme. But what are some things that you want to share with people as we begin to close about the idea of becoming a queen, or things that they can do to help with their transformation?
So I'm gonna just share a quotation, something that I listened to another podcast. I think I just listened to a podcast. That's all I do because I feel like I mentioned the word podcast like 3 times.
Yeah, yeah.
There's this quotation that says, "The cave you fear to enter
Mm,
holds the treasure you seek."
mm,
And I think this is truly aligned with becoming. And it's
mm-hmm,
not just becoming the queen, but it's also becoming the woman that you're meant to be. And
mm-hmm,
sometimes that journey, it's not an overnight thing. It's something that happens throughout the time,
mm-hmm,
throughout the years, and you have to give yourself patience to be the woman that you're meant to be.
mm-hmm.
So that would be my message.
Listen, I have truly enjoyed this conversation. I am so excited. We talked earlier before we went live about bringing Becoming a Queen experience to Canada, and so y'all, we're coming, and we're just gonna figure it out. I don't even know. Urmi is the only person that I know in Canada, right? And so the two of us are going to put our heads together and create a team of people that's going to bring the Becoming a Queen experience to Canada. So I am super excited about that. Is there any final thoughts or final words that you'd like to share before we say see you later to these beautiful people?
I would say, I would say, step into your power and become the queen that you're meant to be.
Love it. Love it. That is going to be the theme of the Becoming a Queen in Canada. Okay, so write
Ooh,
that down so we don't forget. Okay.
yeah,
That's how great things happen. Just an idea, a thought, or someone saying something, and then it becomes a thing, right? And it becomes a thing because we make it a thing. We don't need anyone else to give us the thing that we already have inside of ourselves. This is
yeah.
where magic happens. So, listen, thank you so much for joining me today on the Becoming a Queen Conversations. This has been so much fun. And so, yes, we will chat later, and you all will see us as we begin to plan the Becoming a Queen experience in Canada.
Thank you.
You are so welcome.